Good morning, beautiful spirit. Welcome back. Rector Arundel here with Able Spirit to Me, and I am Able. Um, we are on the last video for chapter 7. Very long chapter, very important chapter. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Spiritual reading. Now, it is classically said that in order to grow spiritually, you must improve in 3 different aspects: thought, word, and deed. I'm sure you've all heard that before. Now, these 3 aspects can actually be interpreted in different ways depending on your culture. However, it is generally accepted that you must grow in physical discipline as the starting point in order to purify yourself first. So, you may note that all of the practices up to now are the classical religious purification ideas. These energy preserving practices are purifying. Now, again, I prefer the idea of preserving energy or cultivating energy rather than purifying, because purifying makes you feel dirty, makes you feel like you're not good. But again, it's all just semantics. Now, these practices purify, burn karma, and charge you all at the same time. So, next, you must grow in your knowledge of spirituality and the absolute truth. So, one of the next things that can be done right away is study of religious texts. If you're listening to this audio, you are doing this one right now. We will cover the third aspect of spiritual development in a moment. It is also classically accepted that all major religions mirror similar ideas and concepts because they are all based off of the same truth, which is an interpretation of absolute truth by different masters in different times and different locations. So it may be presented in different ways by different masters in different times, but they are all teaching the same principles that all come from the infinite or source. In other words, you should not believe any teachings by anyone, including this one, that don't reflect teachings of old as well. And you can choose any text that is well known, like the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Torah. I have my own personal favorite texts from which I have accumulated most of the knowledge that has resonated with me. I want you to pay attention to that sentence. It resonated with me. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's either not right for you or not right for you yet, okay? So the books listed here are my main sources of data. Every one of these books was written by a human and interpreted by a human. Therefore, there are concepts that may be misunderstood by me or just flat out wrong. Now, I do not even agree with everything said in these books, but the nuggets, the pearls that are consistent throughout are where I am getting most of the information here. So I have a list of books here: Enlightenment Through the Path of Kundalini, Tara Spring It. That's really great for chakra information and activating your Kundalini. The Chakras by C.W. Leadbeater. Old book, but very, very, very in-depth information on energy pathways, drugs on the body, yoga, just a lot of great stuff. Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is the best book that I have found for an in-depth explanation on true devotion to God and liberation and the origin of religion and the absolute truth of the universe and creation. So, that book is the best one for learning the devotion shortcut and developing real faith in a deity if you do not have one. So these are all optional things. You can choose what works for you. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Again, he explains the 8 limbs of yoga, how to meditate, and slowly work from solid to superconsciousness, how to develop cities. If you want powers, that's the book for you. Now, Self-Realization Fellowship at Home Lessons by Paramahansa Yogananda. This is a good book for teaching you some important beginning steps for getting a relationship and faith in God. And also, he teaches you how to do some energy cultivation, which is pretty neat. He also tells you what to expect during meditation. So, it is also recommended in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali that once you have a collection of sources, it is often better to stick with those and not always search for new information. Since all paths lead to liberation, stick with ones that you have already found. Now, you always want to stay open-minded, but you should not feel that the next technique is the answer. And I actually have very mixed feelings with this idea because I am always looking for new sources to build on my current belief system and understanding of absolute truth. So I'd like to translate what he says into a different interpretation. This is my highest interpretation. Is to study and reread the sources you already have to continue to absorb new information from them. So they say that books that are written with absolute truth will always have new information with deeper meanings the more you read them. In other words, your old books are always new again. All right, going to finish up this chapter, Devotion to a Deity. Oh, before I continue on, what I mean is, you can always look for new books, but when you do look at new books, try to find the correlations to the books that have already resonated to you in the past. When you're growing your foundation, it's important to not get overwhelmed by throwing so many things in. You want to be eclectic, but you want to be eclectic in a map that makes sense, where you're making connections that resonate with you. Okay, devotion to a deity. This is actually the third aspect of spiritual development. It should be noted that at least some authors say that this devotion can be toward God, a guru, a teacher, or mankind, or Mother Earth. So perhaps your love and devotion can be to humanity, or even empathy for everything. This must be up to you. What feels right? What resonates? This may be the most important thing this may be the most important thing to begin immediately, whether or not you believe in a God. If you do not believe in God, it is at least highly recommended that you build up your devotion in serving a higher purpose of some form. That is actually why I left this section to the very end. You must decide if you believe in a personality of God, a Godhead, or an impersonal Brahman, which means there is no particular God that created everything. There's just the energy that is in everything, oneness. So, if you do not believe your soul is eternal, or that there is a one true God, then you can't really have devotion to one God. Buddhists believe that after you die, you dissolve into this all-pervading source, the impersonal Brahman. So it is your choice, and I believe what happens to you after you die does depend on what you believe or want to happen. However, if you do believe in a Godhead, then devotion to God in every moment with every sense and every action is the key to immediate liberation. And again, this is why certain people who believe in Jesus Christ, they have attained enlightenment. It doesn't really matter what they believe in. What matters is that they stuck to it. So you must believe that all actions are results, and results are ultimately achieved by God through your consciousness and through your body. So you must take no credit for any achievements or failure, and take no possessions as your own. It is said that when you are constantly thinking of God in all moments and serving Him, then you are always in a trance and samadhi, which is the enlightened state. This again is the shortcut that I keep mentioning. It is also a popular and very likely true belief that Kundalini cannot be activated by yourself at all. It is activated by God when He or she recognizes that you're ready for it due to what you are doing. So you're attracting it into your life. So if you're following these methods without a belief in God, your Kundalini may be activated by him or her or the universe anyway. However, if you do believe in a God, ask him or her to help. Another way to think of it is tuning, opening, and charging your chakras is done by embracing this love and devotion to serving something else other than yourself. You are tuning your thoughts, energy, and frequency to that of God. So you have to choose what you will serve and embrace and tune your energy to that end. So it is the law of attraction. These are the majority of daily practices that I have incorporated in my life. The most important thing to remember is to try to accumulate energy in one area of your body constantly. Do not react outwardly to emotions. Even laughing out loud is a loss of energy. Now, sure, enjoy life and laugh, but remember the goal. Do think about the events that cause the emotion. Feel the energy as strongly as possible and channel it into one place in your body. And you can say focus it, if you like that word better than channel, into one of your chakras. The discoverer of these practices says, the more we feel, the louder our spirit for God to notice. And again, I took the liberty of saying, or extrapolating, that also means that the more energy you build, the more similar you are to God or to Source, and the more you are noticed by Source. Once again, the law of attraction. So remember the very basic principle that the consciousness atoms, Atma, attract other similar Atma. And it is for this reason that I believe Source activates the Kundalini. The universe, as the original Atma, or the Para-Atma, which means beyond soul, or supreme soul, recognizes when your energy is growing steadily strong and similar to its own. The only way to grow the energy is to preserve it by doing these historically religious practices. Now, naturally, trying to tune yourself to the energy of God also makes you more similar to God in vibration and energetic charge. and it has become popular in modern parlance to call this someone's vibration or frequency. The practices above strengthen your willpower and discipline, which in turn show that you are ready for more power than you currently have. It's actually really a very beautiful feedback system which ensures success, and it is my belief that possessing more power or energy is equivalent to possessing a higher vibration. So when you cultivate energy, you raise your frequency, you have a higher vibration. Now, staying present helps, and most of the tips above are for that purpose. I personally find that being physically still and chanting mantras are the most helpful, but in doing that, it is also highly recommended to visualize the area inside your body which you wish to fill with energy as an empty room or filled with bright golden white light. So then imagine this area inside your body as completely empty and fill it with more bright golden white in energy time. Wow, stumbling on my words. Fill the body, the area in your body, with more bright golden white energy anytime you can remember. With practice, you will discover which methods help you to actually feel the energy more and which ones dissipate it. And it becomes a fun game of building energy by actually feeling it. It becomes a reality for you and much more than just a theory. So, number 11, meditation. There are too many meditation opinions out there. There are meditations designed to help you calm down, to cleanse certain chakras, connect with other beings, astral travel, and all sorts of other goals and experiences like developing cities. In the next section, I will go over my own techniques for achieving what I have come to believe is true meditation with the goal of enlightenment. Now, warning, this next chapter is most certainly biased. Additionally, all the methods up to here have essentially been used to preserve energy. The exercises in the next chapter are methods for absorbing energy. And in addition to that, I've also come up with many more techniques for absorbing energy, which I post on videos all the time on this channel. So, exciting things to come. That was a long chapter. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. Please let me know if you have any questions or thoughts. Finally, before I talk about meditation and energy absorption, I want to point out that this process can take a long time. You are in whatever state of growth that you are in for a reason. And it can be very, very difficult and ultimately not possible to change every aspect of your life at one time. In the book, The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he points out that the ego is like an eternal child that will not accept doing everything you say at one time. You have to slowly take away things while still allowing the ego to have some things in order to stay on the goal. It is very important not to burn yourself out by trying to stop everything at one time. If you can change all aspects in your life immediately at will, then you are more ready for liberation than almost everyone. You're a natural leader and a master. Now, some of you are. Most of us have to give up one thing at a time, and I am personally constantly relearning this lesson. However, if you give up one thing long enough to no longer be tempted by it, your will and kundalini have grown. You are now strong enough to give up something else. And once again, it is a perfectly designed system to give you more ability and power only after you have demonstrated the ability to handle it. So your willpower to control yourself is directly related to the amount of success you will achieve. Additionally, small attempts in meditation and energy work manifest in very, very large ways right away in your life. So it's kind of a warning. Be prepared for surprisingly quick changes. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. This silly quote is applicable in many, many aspects of life. It demonstrates the law of the universe that a persistent action always guarantees a result. Every time. It is only a matter of time. Now, another common saying is that one step towards source will always equal 10 steps from source toward you, and that with spiritual development, you will never lose your progress. Now, progress is cumulative like radiation. It never goes down. So you always build on previous progress and never have to start over again. This thought is quite helpful to remember when you are in a spiritual ebb. I also like to remember that ebbs are times for you to incorporate and digest new energy. It's okay to have a less spiritual day. Energy contains information. This knowledge has to trickle down through your energy body into a level of understanding of absolute truth for which you are ready. Okay, so That's a long chapter. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Please comment, like, subscribe, email me with questions or suggestions. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Have a wonderful day. You know I will. Bye bye.